Another day in the wonderful world of Chelsea Football Club.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that a day after we've had time to digest the disappointing loss at Bayern Munich. Green shoots, of course. I did do a match review on that game. If you want details and statistics, do go to seek out my match review. I do want to reference a few things post-game. There's some new stuff about new contracts, young players, Caicedo extensions. A little bit more on Sterling as well, working with the PFA, of course, the bomb squad scenario. Not much of a squad now. It's literally Sterling and Disassi. And I wonder if we've just put Disassi in there, so it's literally not just a single solo man club with Raheem Sterling, because that would be even weirder, the one-man bomb squad, because part of me thinks, yeah, we could have just used Disassi in some instances as a conventional centre-back when, you know, the right centre-back steps out but doesn't become a full-back. Could work sometimes in a pinch against Lincoln. Of course, we do have Josh Chiampong at Chelsea, who Maresca apparently loves, but many Chelsea fans still feel he's being underused. He's got plenty of time, of course. We're going to get into all of that today, so welcome on back. A little bit of housework, mate. If you want to support the content, it's simple. All you have to do is like this video and subscribe. That's right, you there watching who are yet to subscribe. You could be the difference maker as we close in on 200,000. Massive number of subscribers, so I'm very, very grateful. Thank you to all of you who have continued to support the content by liking, subscribing, sharing, and dropping those sweet, sweet hype points, which is down under the screen somewhere. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm just tired of talking about this colossal brand. But yeah, Jamie Carragher's been running his mouth on American broadcasting sports shows, basically trying to, you know, snag off Chelsea. Say we've won a Mickey Mouse Cup, we're far further away than ever of winning. Yeah, spent £2 billion. He knows what he's doing. I mean, I've referenced him before here on the channel. Heck, I'm doing it here again. But he knows what he's doing. You know, Liverpool are getting kind of like a lot of last grasp winners. He's having a nice time. Good luck to him. I'm not gonna, I've seen a lot of people talking about it on social media. Let's focus on ourselves. We have a very young and exciting team who are trending in the right direction. I'll reflect a little bit more on that in just a moment. Chelsea have announced a new 3-year deal from Chelsea youngster Genesis Antwi, defender, sort of wide player. A good player. Watched him live against Man City on the under-21s opener, where we won 3-1, courtesy of a Shimweka Hattie. He's a good young player. Of course, he's already made his debut for Enzo Maresca as well. He's really versatile. He can play all up and down the flank. He's signed a new extension. Similarly, a bit of news that I would have reacted to early doors initially when it was being spoken about, but Caicedo, Moises Caicedo, apparently Chelsea really, really keen to give him a new deal despite him already being contracted to 2031. He's got 6 years left, but that isn't enough for Chelsea. How old is Caicedo? He's got to be like, what, 24? So he's 23. So 6 years left. Doesn't even see him into his 30s. They probably want him forevermore. And, you know, they might even just, I wonder if Chelsea are, you know, planning so far ahead that they're thinking, you know, if Caicedo will be wanted by the Saudi Pro League when Caicedo is like 32. Do you know what I mean? And if he's run out of his contract, I'm just wondering if they're thinking that far ahead. And look, Caicedo is incredible. I know he's been catching some heat for a couple of performances lately. I mean, like Harry Kane, absolutely, you know, what would the word be? It was a lazy leg from Caicedo when he conceded that penalty last night. But he's made those tackles before when he gets that sort of telescopic leg round. Kante was the master of it. Caicedo certainly does it very well as well. but it was naive to do it in his own 18-yard box, especially so naive to do it against Harry Kane, who's like such a pro with this. He's like, thank you very much, Moises. I'll have that. Down I go. And it wasn't a dive. It was just a professional sort of reaction to that opportunity from Caicedo. But despite all that, he is incredible. I think he's widely will be regarded as the best central defensive midfielder in the world. Of course, you've got different profiles. You've got more like Regista style players, playmakers. He can pass, he can dribble, he can score thunder C words in terms of long range, superb goals. But yeah, his tenacity. I think he just always dips after an international break for a little bit. And we'll see the best of him in the second half of the season, I think. But yeah, no wonders at all why Chelsea want to lock him down for his entire career, because he is unique, he is a unicorn, he is superb. He is Moises freaking Caicedo. Probably another reason why that's Spitty Scouse is annoyed, because Liverpool nearly signed him. It's great fun, isn't it? Right. We'll talk about the bomb squad situation in just a moment. Mark Ogden's wrote on ESPN. I'll recite that in just a moment. But I did want to pick up a little bit about yesterday. It is the hardest game in our league phase. I did say this in the match review, but some things are worth reiterating. They won 3-1. We gifted all 3 goals. There was a fortuitous sort of phase of play before the own goal in terms of that weird drop ball after the ref getting in the way, and you got Joao Pedro defending as a fullback for some reason, and Elise puts it across that Chalobah probably didn't have to put into his own net. The aforementioned Caicedo conceding a penalty, and of course Gusto literally doing a beautiful assist to Harry Kane. So actually, we gave them the head start with the own goal, and then Harry Kane was just assisted twice, essentially. One of the most deadliest goal scorers in history. You don't miss penalties, and you don't miss those chances when someone plays you through like Malo Gusto. So that's why it was such a frustrating night. Tactically, we were set up really well. I think the way Chelsea performed broadly was pretty good. The stats were inflated towards, because that was 5 shots on target to Bayern to 3 for Chelsea. One of those being a penalty as well. So they only had 1 more shot on target than us in open play at home. And of course, Cole Palmer was in nets, asked from scoring the offside, of course, for his second goal, which would have made it 4 open play shots on target apiece. But the truth is, once there were 2 goals to the good, Bayern, they were like, cool, we're going to show you how professional we are here. We're going to play this drop deeper, let you play in your ways. We're going to close the spaces, and we're going to show you why we have 10 times the amount of Champions League caps in our squad than yours. And of course, they've got a much older average age. Is it excuses? Is it copium? Yes, to a degree, but it's valid points. This was the first time Maresca's ever coached a Champions League game, and it was away at Bayern Munich, and we didn't disgrace ourselves in terms of general performance and setup. It was just those moments, those errors, which of course a team like Chelsea will learn from. As it stands, we are 32nd in the league table. above some pretty big teams, to be fair. PSV, Ajax, Athletic Club, which all have got -2 like us actually, and then Atalanta, which have got -4. Of course, they got slapped by PSG, but Atalanta will have big designs of qualifying, even if it's through the middle large segment, 9th place to 24th place. Teams like Atalanta, we have, I think we'll qualify out of the league phase. Personally, I can't promise it will be in the top 8. In fact, looking at some of the teams, it will be really tough to be in the top 8, maybe. But I think we'll get through. I genuinely do. I think we've got the team to be able to set up for these one-off games, and as we find, get into form and stuff like that. And I think the defensive. Chelsea's problem of late is broadly defensive, which we can sort out. we've got so much better defensively under Maresca, and indeed the latter phase of Maresca's tenure at Chelsea. I think we'll sort it out, and whether it's Fofana coming back in and helping, whether it's Badiashile coming back in and helping, and whether if it's Levi Colwill making appearances towards the end of the season, should he return, that could be good as well. One bright spark is Rob Sanchez has stopped throwing them in his own net and passing to the opposition, so let's touch wood that keeps that is the case and remains the case, that he doesn't make silly mistakes. Yeah, man, so it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I think we're going to be okay. Plays like Stevao and Garnacho, of course, we're going to see Chelsea play Manchester United this weekend. A good win against them. I know people in the media will be like, meh. Of course they're going to beat Man United, but we haven't beaten them at Old Trafford in 12 years. Deep that. That is a stat I will be repeating when I preview this game, because 12 years against the Manchester United, which predominantly that's been the banter years, is a horrific record there. And of course, I think we should be starting someone like Garnacho. Like, right, go friggin' dunk on them. Interestingly, Garnacho looked like he had a really bad chemistry with the only player on the pitch who I'd assume he'd have good chemistry with, and that's of course Enzo Fernandez, his international teammate. They look like they were both running in completely wrong directions in terms of link up, which is confusing really. Maybe they were overthinking it because they played together for their country. Peculiar. Alright, so Mark Ogden's wrote about Raheem, the dream, currently dreaming in a nightmare, because of course he's in the bomb squad with Disasi. Like I said, David Datro Fofana created the third and final member of the bomb squad prior to getting his move, and now it's just two players. Mark Ogden writes the following: Chelsea are, quote, working closely with the PFA, the guys that look after the footballers. Sources have told that ESPN over the club's treatment of Raheem Sterling and Axel Disasi. Both players are training away from the first team after being told they have no future at Stamford Bridge. We already know this. Sterling, who of course is now 30 years old, has 2 years remaining on a 5-year contract he signed when joining from Man City for a £47 million deal, which at the time looked like great value, really. In a time where, markets were getting inflated. He was, 37. He was 27. I know he's out of favour with Pep, but he looked fit still. He was, his career spoke for itself. It didn't look like he had an injury problem. So it was, at the time, Tuchel was absolutely desperate to get him. We all loved Tuchel. We were like, yeah, give him what he wants. He wanted Sterling. He got him. It was like, cool. I don't think the Chelsea fans were calling out for Raheem Sterling, but if your gaffer was, who you sort of really trust, and you get him for that money considering his record, of course, Kovacic went the other way for 30 million. I think it was the same year. Kind of made sense. Kovacic had less on his contract. Kovacic was older. Kovacic isn't a forward. Everyone sort of got okay deals and good value, I thought. So this was July 2022, becoming the first signing, of course, under the club's new owners, Bowley and Clearlake Capital. And that's why it was the first signing, because it was Tuchel's priority target. They came in and went, right, who do you want, gaffer? He said, bring me Raheem. Disasi, who's only 27, was a £38 million signing from Monaco. 38 and a half. Hot dog. That's a lot. I still think there's a player there to play in a certain system. We got him from Monaco in August 2023, a year later, and is under contract until June 2029. Bigger sellability, lower wages, of course, with Axel Disasi. Both players spent last season on loan away. England's winger Sterling made 28 appearances for Arsenal. It was pretty disastrous. Disasi played 10 times for Aston Villa. Not great. Often out of position at right back, though. Despite them both being available all summer, Disasi and Sterling, for transfer, neither was able to secure a move, as sources have told ESPN that Napoli and Bayern Munich both made attempts to sign Sterling. Man, I know I reacted to this recently, but that absolutely blew my fragile little mind that, the champions of Italy and Germany both tried to sign Sterling, and he wasn't into it. That's wild, isn't it? Living in Naples or like, playing at Bayern Munich. I thought he was just being flogged to Turkey or Saudi, but he had amazing European options though. They both made attempts, but with the London-born player wanting to remain in the capital to be with his young family, the proposals on offer from the other two clubs were not suitable at the time. I do have sympathy for that, but I have less general sympathy for Sterling because they're amazing footballing opportunities. People were talking about, he wants to be ambitious with football. He doesn't want to go to Turkey or Saudi. Napoli or Bayern Munich is the up there with the group of pinnacle footballing opportunities. I still can't get my head around it personally. Yes, so it wasn't suitable because he wanted to stay in London, but Sterling and Disasi, they're still at Stamford Bridge following the closure of the transfer window on September the 1st. Their hopes of a return for Enzo Maresca's squad have not come to fruition, and the two players have been left out to train from the squad. Yeah, Sterling just seems cooked. Disasi surprised me a bit more, but I think probably it's more down to Josh Achiampong. Maresca likes him and he's representing that sort of player in the squad. And, they had Aaron Nanselmino, who they rate highly, who, by all accounts, had a really good start at Dortmund in his first appearance. I haven't sort of checked in since, but Chelsea have high hopes for him. So, we'll see what happens there. My friends. So they've both been left to train away from the senior squad. Sources have said Chelsea and the PFA are now working together to ensure the two players are able to train properly and also given the time to train at the club's Cobham training ground. Yeah, we saw the Sterling post when he's playing it in the evening. Sterling and Disasi have also been designated coaches to ensure they will be able to secure a move away from Chelsea when the transfer window opens in January. Coaches as in fitness coaches, not vehicle transfer devices. Motor vehicles. You both have a coach that's going to drive you out of here, mates, to get your transfers. Both Chelsea and PFA have declined to comment when ESPN contacted. What's going to happen? I do think Disasi will sort out. He's 27. He's got a lot of European experience. His wages won't necessarily price him out of a move. Sterling is just an absolute Rubik's Cube of a situation, especially now we've learned about the whole Bayern Munich-Napoli thing. That's, once I heard that, I was like, well, if he's saying no to Bayern and Napoli, and he wants to stay in London, there's literally nothing we can do apart from we say go to Crystal Palace and we'll pay 80% of your wages and we won't get a loan fee. That's probably what he's hoping for, isn't it? Like that he gets all his money still and he gets to kick the ball around in London somewhere. Still, it's his right. It's our fault. He's under contract. I'm not one of those guys that are going to be like, get out of my club. No. It's our fault. We got to freaking take the L and eat it. What do you think, though? Let me know down in the comments section below. I'll be very keen to learn your thoughts. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing and continuing to support the content. I hope to see you back here, mate, very soon. Take care. Peace.